super windy spring day today, but we got some cool things starting to pop off down in the new greenhouse, and I wanted to take you down there and show you what's up. That's coming up next. All right, we're just gonna get right into it. So many of you know, man, I'm sure that wind is horrible. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get inside here as quick as I can. Try to get out of the wind. Many of you know that this greenhouse structure behind me was part of our new addition last year when we put in all of these new gardens. I kind of called it the pandemic garden because it's the garden that we built during the pandemic. But now I call it the formal garden because it's very formal. It's, you know, raised beds and straight sides and all that sort of fun, cool stuff. But we're starting to get the greenhouse a little bit more set up. Let's go take a look. Okay, so I'm standing in the corner, like literally, I've got the camera up here above my head in the corner. So you can tell beneath me down here, the soil is different than obviously that over there. So that is the native soil that was here when we built it. And then this is just some river bottom sand that I went down to the farm and grabbed. So we're starting to try to level up the basin here, put in something nice to walk on. The plan is to cover all of that with weed fabric. And then I think Steph wants to do like some pavers or something like that on top of the weed fabric, maybe some of that nice mortar sand type stuff in the gaps. We'll see how we end up finishing it. But the reason that gap is over there is because that board is marking the edge of the only bed that will be in this greenhouse. So the way that we're setting this one up is not necessarily as, what's the right word? Like not as a growing, it's not really a growing greenhouse, right? Like we're gonna do a lot of growing in here. We'll do a lot of seed starting in here, I think. More than anything, it's like a potting shed kind of a space, right? Like there's where I'm standing right now, there's gonna be a workbench on this back wall. There'll be a grow bed over there so we can have a few things growing in here, protected, and then probably over on that wall, which kind of jags out the front there. It's hard to see, you know, the footage from the outside shows it that there's this little bit of a kick out over there. But the plan for that space over there is like shelves along that wall, probably like wire shelf. And we'll be able to put potted plants and seed trays and things like that over there where they're going to get all kinds of really nice light and be able to grow out and do the things that they need to do over there. So should be pretty fun. It's starting to come together. What's left to do for us now here in the short term is get some more sand. We ran out of the sandy gravel stuff that we're using to kind of help build up the base of the floor. We need to get a little bit more of that, finish off the transition out the front, cover everything with weed fabric, and then we'll start looking at how we want to build this raised bed, what materials we're going to use for that, how high we want to go with it, etc., and figure out what to do for the potting bench space that we want to create here on the back wall. So I thought I would just turn around and let you see, like you can see the amount of light that comes in this space. So we did this kind of fun transition here in the back where it's metal on this back side, and then the roof facing south is the clear panels. All of the walls are the same clear panels. Basically, whatever I cut off down here, these are the cutoffs of these roof pieces. And so when I designed the shed, I intentionally built this space so that what I trimmed off of these pieces would be enough to cover those pieces. So we're in the process of figuring out how we want to cover those over there, because the roof trimmings over there we're a little bit too short to close that gap. So we got to do something different over there. We're going to build some sort of a barn door system here on the back that will slide this way on the outside of the wall, which will allow really nice amount of open space to get in and out with wheelbarrows and things like that should we need to. And then I think we're still trying to figure out exactly how we want to do the door on the front there. So we need to get a door framed up there, kind of finish off that piece, and then it will be kind of buttoned up a little bit tighter than it is right now. So one thing about this design that I'm really curious to see is when I designed it, I intentionally left that gap. Okay, so you can see the 2x4 is sitting on top of the 2x6, and that's what the roof panels are attached to. But you'll notice, if you're paying close attention, that there is no 2x4 on top of that wall right there. Now, the theory, we'll see if I'm right. The theory is that that will allow this entire greenhouse to self-vent itself from the front. The heat in here will rise up, hit this roof, flow all the way up the roof line, and then vent out the top in the back. So it should, in theory, create this convection current that will pull all of the hot air up and out the backside of the greenhouse like that. Now, if we don't want that to happen, then all we have to do is find something to shove in those spaces and up top in those spaces. Like I'm thinking like pipe insulation, that gray foam tubing thing. Like if we just shoved a little bit of that up there, that would close that gap off and prevent the vent cycle from happening. It's a theory. I don't know if it's going to end up working out, but it sounds good in concept, so we'll see if I'm right. The other part of that that's part of the debate is that we're seriously thinking about making this maybe a Dutch door so that the top of the door could open and close, and that way we can kind of prevent the cats or anything else from coming inside, but we could have the benefit of this massive opening in the door here to increase ventilation that way. I can tell you from the other greenhouse that not having these pieces closed up all of the way is not necessarily a horribly bad thing. In the seed starting greenhouse that we have out back, it was built very similarly, and they just kind of slapped up some pieces to kind of close that off, but not really. And so it's not super well ventilated. And honestly, as soon as the weather gets nicer, I end up opening up all the vents that I can anyway to let as much air flow through there as possible. Otherwise, it gets up over 100 like super fast on a warm, sunny spring day. So I think this is going to work out. We'll see. I'm excited to, get it going and play with it and see what we end up learning from actually using it. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little greenhouse update. If you did, consider giving this video a thumbs up, maybe like and subscribe. We share all kinds of content on this channel related to the whole gardening thing. And yeah, other fun stuff. So thanks for watching. Get outside because life's better when it's lived outdoors. We'll see you next time.